what do you have? What's going on today? What you got? What you got?
I got Christmas vibes. I got a song in my heart and a story to share.
Oh!
Shall we dive right in?
Please do.
You'd better watch out.
Oh!
You'd better not cry. You'd better not pout. I'm telling you why. JB Baby's coming to town. I'm making a list. I'm checking it twice. I'm gonna find out who's naughty or nice.
Hey!
JB Baby's coming to town. I see you when you're sleeping.
Okay.
I know when you're awake.
Oh.
I know if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. You'd better watch out. You'd better not cry. You'd better not pout. I'm telling you why. JB Baby's coming. Oh, JB Baby's coming. Ask your mother, she knows who's coming to town. A doot-and-doot-a-doot-a. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. It is that special time of year. It is that magical season where all the good boys and girls get gifts, toys, treats, and trinkets. All the naughty little bums, ampersand, bumettes get nothing, the fucking dummies. This year, however, is not a normal Christmas season. This year is extra special for your Uncle Jables, you see, because my dreams have finally come true. You see, dear, in the year of our Lord, Mariah Carey, 2025, I finally get to take my turn to be Father Christmas. And it's about goddamn time, if you ask me, because I can't think of anybody better suited for the position.
Okay.
I'm old. I'm big with the kids. I have a beard, and I love judging people, and that's all before we even get to the soft skills that I bring to the table. Take a second and think about it. Making a list and checking it twice. What is that if not organizational skills and attention to detail? And I, not unlike your mother, have been known to get a little bit anal from time to time. I am perfect for this role. My obsession with details and my assumption that I have fucked up somewhere could be considered a disorder of some sort by some, but I have managed to successfully weaponize my madness. I have used my defect as my strength, and now I am Father Christmas, but you can call me Daddy. I made my defect work for me. I'm just like Simone Biles or Freddie Mercury, or the most famous defective success story of all, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Okay.
We could all learn something from that little furry fuck. He had a dream, and he would not be denied, and that is what I'm here tonight to do. I'm here to give my gift as Father Christmas to the world. It's the gift of a story of inspiration and triumph, an allegory for using your weaknesses as strengths. You see, for the uninitiated, Rudolph had an illness. He had no friends because of his illness. He was bullied because of his illness. He was ostracized because of his illness. You see, Rudolph had a bright, bulbous red nose, and despite his alcoholism, he was dead set on a career operating a vehicle in the sky. It can't be done, they said.
I thought it was cocaine.
It's reckless, they cried. You're going to kill a minimum of 7 people, they proclaimed. His dream appeared to be dead on arrival, that is, until one foggy Christmas Eve. You see, that particular night, the fog was so thick with 2 C's, and the visibility was so poor with 2 more, that all aircraft had been grounded due to completely reasonable safety concerns. And there was one person for whom this created quite the problem, quite the conundrum, you may say. Good old St. Nicholas. See, this created a problem for Santa Claus. See, he had presents to deliver, and he had a schedule to keep, and he knew that humans were horrible, wretched things who valued their whoozy whatsits and thingamajigs far more than his life, and why shouldn't they? After all, he doesn't come with a compass and a stock and this thing which tells time. All he has is a family, a wife, and a fucking entire family full of elves that rely on him for their livelihood. He is clearly dispensable, and he knew that. Unfortunately, His team did not feel the same way. They refused to help Sandy Claus. It's too dangerous, they said. It's not worth the risk, they cried. You'll kill a minimum of 7 people, they proclaimed. It would appear that they were more concerned with the fat man's well-being than they were with ensuring that Tamagotchis and Pokemon found their way down some chimneys, the selfish little fucks. And you know what? Not for nothing, while we're on the topic, I don't think those motherfuckers were really that concerned with the man's safety at all. I say that if they actually gave a shit about that portly bastard, they could have showed a little more concern when he was tossing the 5th sausage down his jiggling jolly gullet every morning. Yet they sat and watched that man slowly eat himself to death, and they said nothing. But this is where we draw the line. Okay. All right, buddy. Sure thing. If you ask me, it sounds an awful lot like someone's life insurance didn't pay out to workplace incidences the same way it paid out deaths due to a fucking heart attack. But look, I don't know what kind of lawyer Radio Memphis has, so I'll not make any accusations. We'll just stick to the facts, and the fact is Santa was fucked. Perfectly reasonable people enacted perfectly reasonable safety protocols, and his elves, hypocritical as they may be, responded perfectly reasonably. Fortunately, where there is a will, there is a way. Mm-hmm. For you see, if one ever finds one's self needing to circumvent reason, one is not left with no recourse. One must simply turn to the unreasonable. And it doesn't get much more unreasonable than the dreamers of the world. The furry, friendless, alcoholic dreamers, and Santa knew exactly where to find one such dreamer. You see, Santa saw something in Rudolph that no one else did. He saw a creature with no sense of self-preservation. He saw a creature willing to do something reckless. He saw a creature that would happily risk the lives of at least 7 people in order to assure that Bulbasaurs found their way under Christmas trees. He saw a hero, a red-nosed, alcoholic hero. Had Rudolph ever flown a sleigh through hazardous conditions before? Of course not. Had he ever flown a sleigh under normal conditions? Hell no. I mean, that motherfucker had never even left the ground before, but it didn't matter because he was too drunk to care. He was about to make his weakness his strength. His defect was going to work for him. Rudolph let that old fat stranger bind him to a sled with a gag and ride him all night long as Santa dropped off load after load after load all around the world until Santa's sack was emptied.
Ew, gross. Oh, God.
And that was that. That was that. The presents were delivered and the schedule was kept. They returned home to a hero's welcome, having beaten the odds and taken the lives of only 6. It was a Christmas fucking miracle. Now, of course, Santa would go on to spend the remaining years of his life embroiled in multiple lawsuits with various workers' rights organizations before eventually passing away due to health complications brought on about by his type 2 diabetes. While Rudolph would spend the next decade or so bouncing in and out of rehab as he hopped on and off the wagon, eventually he did get his act together, but not before completely draining his life savings. But never one to be kept down, Rudolph would once again use his weakness as a strength. He took his financial desperation straight to NBC, where in 1964 he optioned off his life rights for a small fortune. Now, some 60 years later, there are families all around the world that watch the claymation retelling of that little furry drunkard's life story each and every Christmas. And his story has inspired countless others to reassess the way they view themselves and find ways to use their defects work for them and turn their weaknesses into strengths. A lot of people owe Rudolph a lot of thanks. People like Simone Biles, Freddie Mercury, and their arguably more talented Sleepy J Barksdale. If Rudolph hadn't blazed a path for defective winners, wrote that sentence wrong. Simone may never have gone platinum. Frederick may never have won gold. And old J-Bo may never have been able to take up his mantle as Father Christmas. So next week, after you tuck the kids in and you're getting ready to anticipate my arrival. When you're laying out the Miller and pretzels for Sleepy Cause, make sure to pour a little out for Rudolph, no matter how unreasonable it may seem. Would you guys look at that? We just had our own little Christmas miracle right here in the studio. For once, I actually did know where I was going with my thoughts. So I guess all I got left to say is Merry Christmas to all a good night, and if you've been naughty, just remember that you are on my list, and I do know where you live, and I know exactly when you sleep, you little bum. And that's that piece.
For educational purposes.